Thank you. Please, have a seat. I'm Jim O'Brien, your host on Monday Night Live in the Jim O'Brien residence. This is my domain. Welcome. I'd like to introduce my first guest. You know, we get to things quickly here on Jim O'Brien Live. I'd like to welcome my first guest, esteemed colleague of mine, a 20-year doctor, graduated from Yale University. Dr. Knight, all the way here, coming from UCLA. How are you, doctor? Good. Good. So how are things? You haven't been on the show in quite a while.
Yeah, I've been stumped with work and everything.
Yeah, how was UCLA? Still hot?
Very hot.
It's freezing here in Brooklyn. Alright, so we introduced you as my esteemed colleague. You know, we went to college together. We even dated the same girl back in college. What a coincidence, right? He's married to that G today. Crazy story. We'll get to that next show, though. So, found out your wife gave birth recently. So, how's that going for you?
Yes, it's going great, actually. She gave birth to a baby boy.
Baby boy, wow. Any names yet?
We're going with Craig.
Wow, that's very ironic. You know, I've known a lot of Craigs, but not one that's going to have a father that's a doctor as esteemed as you. So, all right, let's get started. So we brought you down here from UCLA pretty much to focus on forensic science. And, you know, we like to follow our Twitter feed, and that's been the main response. People want to know about forensic science. Is it a real science or not? So let's start off with the first question, Doctor. Can you define forensics for our viewers at home who don't know what it is?
Okay, so, alright, Jim. So the definition of forensics is quite simple. It is the conversion of science into the court of law. It is helping the justice system out and proving guilty people and putting them away.
It's very funny. I never thought of it that way. I always thought of forensic sciences as just, you know, autopsies and DNA fingerprinting. It's very interesting.
Well, that's a big part of forensic science.
So let's move on to question number 2. You know, like I said, I like to look on Twitter, and there's been a controversy, a Twitter fight, or a twite, as you might want to call it, on science. And I want to get your thoughts on, is forensic science a real science or not? Because there are doubters and there are strong believers on whether or not forensic science is indeed a true science. So what are your thoughts about that?
So I'm going to end this twite once and for all by saying that forensics is truly a science. It consists of DNA fingerprinting, fingerprint analysis, hair analysis, all things that have to do with biology and other sciences.
So, Doctor, let's move on to the next question. According to Daniel Malloy of the Post-Gazette, he quotes Dr. Wecht, and he says, Dr. Wecht is esteemed chief of neurosurgery. He went to Harvard, Yale, and University of Pennsylvania. And Dr. Wecht says, absolute sciences are only math, physics, and chemistry. Pathology is not an exact science, and we know that pathology is a big part in forensic science. So when he says that, he implies that forensics is not a real science, so that disputes your previous statement. So what do you have to say? What do you have to say to this guy? And obviously he's qualified because he's one of our geniuses of our time, and he's graduated from all these top colleges. So how do you feel about that?
Well, obviously he's overqualified to any degree, and yes, he is a genius, probably one of the top in the top percentile. But my response to him is that where is he getting this information from? He's just saying things. I'm looking all over the place. I'm citing books. He's not. You didn't give one cite to this statement that he made about absolute sciences, and he's just wrong. He's either hiding his sources or he's just making it up as he goes along. I totally disagree with Dr. Wecht.
It's very interesting you say that because he disagrees with you too. We had him on the line.
So.
We had him on the line earlier today, and he had much to say about you in high regards. But he definitely disagreed with that last statement by you because he feels that pathology, which relates to forensic science, is not a real science. So I would actually love to have you both come in one of these times and have a great debate between you two geniuses of our time.
I'm ready to sit down with Dr. Webb and finally discuss this.
So for our last point here, because we're running out of time, I wanted to just discuss how forensic science can help people as a whole. How can it help the community? How can it help me and you? How can it help the average Joe? I want to know how forensic science can help each individual, not just the police and people who work in labs.
Well, it helps the criminal justice system in ways that we haven't had in generations. This is the future of finding criminals guilty and being more efficient and truthful in the fact that they are guilty and not just innocent and throwing them in jail. They don't even get a second chance. With fingerprint analysis, hair analysis, DNA analysis, all these things are correcting all our past mistakes. It helps the law enforcement with criminals that they're backing off now, knowing that they can get caught much more easily and efficiently. And so it helps the law enforcement in ways that the criminals are scared of us figuring out their plan because they're not confident in the way that they're doing things anymore because of our testing and our efficiency in the science department. And also with drugs and substance abuse, we are finding we have spectroscopy tests, marquee tests with color definition of which drug is which, and at the scene it can't be just a white powder. We used to think white powder could have been Johnson's baby powder or some chalk or some spilled flour. Now we're more than 100% sure.
Right. That sounds excellent. I think that wraps us up for tonight. So, Doctor, I wanted to thank you for coming out, and you're always welcome on the show.
It's a pleasure.
You're always welcome on the show. Everybody, Dr. Knight from UCLA, from all the way down, just for you tonight. You stay there, everybody. When we come back, we're going to have 20 questions with Katie Perry, and our use part of the fourth quarter. Thank you.